we'll go down here. There's just endless wonderful little paths in this wood. So yes, horses, they're all intelligent. They display their intelligence in different ways because they're all individuals, but within that there's sort of like an intelligence common to all horses, that, you know, when you work with enough horses, you realise that they can, even if they come from another country and don't speak English, they'll understand the language of the horse. So it's up to us to speak their language rather than expect them to speak ours. And but what that means is we have the responsibility of actually, here we are, we're going to walk over these logs. You see, and there she tripped because she didn't work out her feet. Well, she didn't really trip, but she didn't see the, and there you see she's tripped there. So even though she's a very sure-footed horse, horses can get caught out, because this is actually a particularly difficult path to walk down. Horses can get caught out, and any horse can trip. And when you're going down these little paths, the steadier you can go down, the better. And by steady I mean taking short steps, because then you can sort of pick the leg up and put it down rather than reaching and going on the forehand. So horses very often don't have a clue what we're wanting, and that's sort of the beginning, you know, when a horse is known to have behavioural problems. Which way should we go? Should we go here? When a horse is known to have behavioural problems, you know, they weren't sort of no problems one day and big problems the next. It builds day by day, you know, and if you're not seeing what's happening, eventually you get to what's considered a problem. But in every case that isn't pain related, it's because the horse didn't understand what the rider expected, or the rider made unreasonable requests and didn't honour that the horse was trying, and asked for something above and beyond its level of ability, physical and mental development. And so then the horse resorts to doing things that we term undesirable. But of course the horse is pretty neutral. I mean, the horse is happy to do the wrong thing well and the good thing badly, or they don't really care. They just want to be understood. So, you know, if we like them shying every time they saw a tree stump, I mean, they're quite happy to do that. But equally, they're quite happy to learn that no, they don't shy every time they see a tree stump. So, as I say, they're pretty neutral. But it's up to us to tell them, you know, what we expect of them. And if we don't, then at some point they are going to develop, you know, they are going to develop a problem. Now, where are we here? I think we'll come back up here. I'm trying to remember which fire break that is. Right. I'm on the trot now. Very the more the older I get, the more I'm amazed at what's expected of horses without actually showing them how to do anything. You know, so say like a young horse, I mean, Melle was, you know, though she's not a young horse, in many ways she was green in the sense she was unrefined, and, you know, she was sort of a straight line cob, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, yeah, it's nice to have a few more buttons in place. So, but if you take like a young green horse and you take it in a school and start schooling it, well, how can you school a young horse because it doesn't know about schooling? And so it'll do the best job it can. So what tends to happen is it'll either get worried and then get quite sort of like goey in the school, so you can't put your leg on properly and it's always ahead of you, and people think of that as forward going, but actually it's really anxious. Or they kind of lose total motivation and decide they don't want to go at all unless they're absolutely forced and coerced, and they keep trying to, you know, head for the gate or just stand at the gate and all that sort of thing, because they may not show it, but they're worried. And so then people say, yeah, but they need more schooling. But, well, they don't need more schooling, they need more education to prepare them for schooling. So say like a horse like Melle, who's, gosh, it is slippery, these leaves are really slippery, who's older and had the benefit of probably quite a few years hacking, she's ready to be schooled. Once I got her trust a bit, she's ready to be schooled. But if she was a young horse, like little Paddy, or what other young one have we had? Well, we've had lots of young ones, but say like little Paddy, a young horse, he's not ready to be schooled, although, oh look, here's a sweet little terrier. You probably can't even see it, he's blending in with all the leaves. It's a tiny little thing. Look at this tiny little thing. It's so sweet. They try and be so brave. Oh, we're going straight down here. I'm quite keen to get off these leaves because they're really slippery. This little terrier is amazing. Hello? Yeah, that's a very sweet little terrier. Is that a puppy, the little terrier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Maxie.
Look at this little tiny puppy. What breed? What terrier is she?
She's a Mexican
Ponchy? Oh, really? I thought she looked unusual. Well, she's certainly very lively. No. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Little trot so it goes away. It's good for them to see dogs. Yes. So, not only can horses trip through all the reasons that I said and have a lack of awareness of their feet, they can also have this schooling which gives them difficulties they wouldn't otherwise have had because they don't understand what schooling is. Horses are not born knowing how to be schooled, and the fact that, you know, you can get on these wonderful animals and you know, school them from nothing is absolutely amazing. Amazing manifestation of intelligence, because You know, a horse can go on a month or 2 months schooling, what's the word? An intensive schooling course, and come back so-called schooled after a couple of months. But the person doing that schooling, or who was able to have done that schooling, it would have perhaps had decades of learning how to school a horse. So you couldn't put a rider, an on-rider, and after 2 months say to them, school the horse. You wouldn't be able to, but you can have a horse that's never been schooled, and in 2 months it's had all the schooling. Right, you have to work out how to put your legs through here. They're backed within days, then they start being ridden, and as soon as they've got any idea at all, they start being schooled. Well, yeah, sometimes it works, but often it doesn't. Right, look, canter. Just saw this sort of real sort of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 canter.